What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Pet Shop Boys. Once again, big shout out to Seb for sharing their material. And the next tune in the folder, which is the expanded folder for the 1990 album Behaviour, is Where the Streets Have No Name, and then parenthetically, I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. Well, the latter phrase, I know for certain, is a Franki Valli song, and I actually heard Morten Harket do a cover of it like a year ago now. So I'm going to assume that it's that part of it is a cover of that, and I don't know for certain because I haven't gotten there in my U2 deep dive, but I think Where the Streets Have No Name is a U2 song, though in the moment I can't hear what that sounds like, so I think maybe I've just seen that written somewhere as a U2 song, but I don't think I've actually heard it, or at least I can't recall it now. But assuming that is also the case, then it sounds like it's a cover medley of two different tunes. Yeah, ultimately, I enjoy hearing covers, so if that is what this is, I'd be keen to hear Neil and Chris's take on a couple tracks, in particular the second half of it, because I do actually know that tune, the original, not just the Morten Harket version. But yeah, ultimately, let's find out if that's what it is. This is Pet Shop Boys, Where the Streets Have No Name, and then parenthetically, I Can't Take My Eyes Off You. Rolling kick drums. Might have been a 303 there. I see the dust cloud disappear without a trace. I want to take shelter from poison rain, where the streets have no name. Where the streets have no name. Where the streets have no name. definitely a through.
Love you, baby. Let me love you. Where the streets have no name. Where the streets have no name. Where the streets have no
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's like, and again, that's definitely acid. I mean, surely there's like a 12-inch mix of this in the other folder. The like, I forget what it's like the FL like version of the like the different albums. Anyway, I hope there's another mix because it feels like that could definitely go on into like an extended mix right there. Regardless, yeah, a lot of cool sonic layers. I think the whole idea is cool, and it's not a medley like I normally think of. When I think of a medley, I normally think of it like they play more or less one song, and then they transition into the next song, and then they transition into maybe a third song, but they're not blending the multiple songs throughout the medley. But that's what was happening here. It was like two songs, not just, grafted onto each other where they, there's a point of connection, but they're otherwise separate, but it was like they were surgically intertwined. It was like a really interesting composition, and I enjoyed both sides of it. Now again, the streets have no name, or where the streets have no name side of it was less familiar. Again, there's some moments there where it's like, maybe I have heard the U2 original, like, because that sort of sounds familiar, but like, again, I don't know if I've heard that, or if it was just like, this was a very like compelling tune, and so I'm like my brain's trying to reach and like remember, like, do you know that? Either way, that part of it was cool, but the other side of it, or the other ingredient in the mixture, is a song I do know. Again, going back to the Franki Valli original, but also the Morten Harket version. So yeah, I expected, to if it was a cover of that we would hear that brass riff, which is one of my favorite parts of the original, and sure enough we did, but it's all like Pet Shop Boys synth, like drum machine rendered, which again, like, I listen to a lot of groups that have an energetic synth pop sound, at least on some of their tunes, but like the Pet Shop Boys, their configuration of producing tracks in that vein, I think it's just like really sonically pleasing. So like, again, it's the bass lines, the synth work, it's it's just the way they put tunes together. So yeah, and this is a good example because it's not your typical medley, at least not the way that I've like thought of that word. So yeah, a cool tune, obviously like a bit of a novelty in a sense that, it's already a cover is sort of like, you're just kind of taking a crack at someone else's tune. It's not like, part of a concept album where you're like making all these tunes individually and you're trying to like make your own story. But then when it's a medley, it feels like even more, you're kind of, you're just seeing what you can do with a couple different tunes being experimental. This feels like it takes that idea and like goes to a deeper level of experimentation. So a cool track. I don't remember in the moment what the next one in the playlist is, but I do think I have it out. Yeah, I do. Oh, but that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know what happened. There was the middle part of this folder, there were tracks that were like labeled one thing. Again, the Violence Hacienda version, that wasn't actually that. It was, It Must Be Obvious. So, and then, oh no wait, it was We All Feel Better in the Dark, right? Or no, that's what Decadence was. Like, basically there's a couple tracks that were like, I guess, mislabeled. But then this one was correctly labeled. So assuming that the next one is correctly labeled as well, it's going to be Euro Boy, followed by DJ Culture, which I'm really curious about because, in one sense, I'm part of DJ culture, specifically in the techno scene and so on. But DJ culture in a more historical sense is like, it makes a reference to like Jamaican music and like the sound system culture. So I wonder if that might be where it's located. Either way, I know those types of musical forms are big in UK musical history, so it could be like local, but either way, I'm looking forward to that one and curious about it. But before we get there, Euro Boy will be the next tune apparently. So looking forward to that. Shout out to Seb once again. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.